Chill, man. I'm on TV.
You could trust the facts. You could trust science. Yeah. Because Christians believe science, not the atheist. And any atheist that's listening to this video right now knows that they don't believe in science and knows that they are left with nothing but fairy tales. And
the surfing monkey coin bank.
Some people actually think that dinosaurs farted themselves to death. That's not true. The organism would rot while it's forming. There's no way that it would take thousands of years to even get one fossil.
Welcome back to the channel, my fellow nihilist converts, and let's get into Matt Powell's surfing monkey science, logic, reason, truth stuff.
Hey guys, this is Matt Powell. I wanted to do this quick video just addressed to the theistic evolutionists that are out there and those who believe that somehow the Bible is compatible with theistic evolution. Well, a couple things. Number one, we have already verified and proven that evolution is nothing more than a fairy tale, and as Christians, we should believe in scientific, logical, and rational things.
Drei Gläser.
Not primitive superstition and fairy tales. Now, the reason that I say it's a fairy tale, and I'll just give you one fact in this video, that why we know that evolution is a complete hoax and a fairy tale, and that it's just bizarre, is because in order for evolution to be true, monkeys would have had to surf from Africa to South America 34 million years ago on rafts.
It does sound like a ludicrous concept when using the most extreme example, and leaving out the plethora of other examples that include plants, insects, rodents, and primates that populated islands all over the earth.
The only way that monkeys could have got there, since they found monkey fossils there that weren't supposed to be there according to evolution because monkeys were in Africa.
Right. And
the only way they could have got there according to evolution theory was surfing the ocean blue.
Scooby-Doo, what's your conclusion? Bunny.
Darwin noticed the very limited diversity on the Galapagos Islands, limited to turtles, iguanas, some snakes, and one mammal, and that the islands farther out to sea had even less diversity, and figured that didn't really make any sense when it came to creation.
And so, if you're an evolutionist, that's something that you have to believe is part of the theory. Otherwise, evolution doesn't work.
It's gonna be the best wave of my life, and I hope the camera's rolling because you're gonna want to watch it over and over and over and over again.
Because it's fact that we found monkey fossils in South America.
Way back in 1995, iguanas were swept out to sea by hurricanes and floated on debris and were found alive over 200 miles away.
So either one of two things happened. Either the monkeys surfed there, or they were placed there by a flood and through hydrologic sorting.
We have to tell them the truth.
What truth?
The reason that Matt's hands are pink and his face is a little red is because he thought it was a good idea to sit outside in the fucking cold and film this stupid video. Matt's denying these monkeys ever lived in South America, the Caribbean, and North America, and that they sorted out in layers 1,000 miles away from where they drowned somehow. The reason this is dumb is Matt said in another of his videos that animals bloat and float and get scavenged on.
Something that the scientific method would actually predict and that the Bible already told you would happen.
That's just dumb because the scientific method is used to build models that explain why things happen and predict things that could happen in the future. See, there is no flood model because if there was, Matt wouldn't be reading the Bible to us right now.
Perished. And so we know, beyond any shadow of doubt, that the Bible teaches a global flood.
The Bible teaches a lot of batshit crazy stuff, including things we call human rights violations. Today would land you in prison for decades to life. And if you close your eyes and cross your toes and wiggle your nose and wish really, really hard, you can pretend stupid shit and dream of those better days gone by where your loving God killed everyone in the worst way possible when he could have just flipped his fingers and snapped them out of existence.
Now, evolutionists have to completely deny this because if the flood is true, evolution is false.
I mean, it's Matt's flood that has evolution going haywire on gigatons of methamphetamine, and then Noah crashed on a barren landscape devoid of all life. After all, it's rational science logic that the oceans raised 20,000 feet and then immediately drained 20+ thousand feet, so all the little animals could walk and hop across vast distances of a literal hellscape across what was just recently
Under the sea. Just look at the world around you, right here on the ocean floor.
If the flood didn't happen, then monkeys would have had to surf to South America in order for those fossils to even exist there.
I understand you just bought 15 of our surfing monkey banks. Is that true?
Yeah. Chill, man. I'm on TV.
This is all recent teaching of evolution. As we make more discoveries, we see that creation comes back time and time again as true, and evolution comes back time and time again as a fairy tale. It's a fairy story.
If evolution is just a theory and theories are the gold standard in science, denying this is like denying germ theory, plate tectonics, atomic theory, cell theory, chaos theory, and if this is the case, any evolution denier has opened themselves into denying just about anything and everything.
They also teach that duck-billed dinosaurs, because they found, as of November 7th, this was published, that they found a duck-billed dinosaur fossil in Africa. Now, duck-billed dinosaurs did not live in Africa according to evolution, so how did they get there? According to evolution theory, they surfed there.
Matt can huff and puff all he wants, but that's not evidence. It's an argument from incredulity. For example, lemurs had to get from Africa to Madagascar somehow, and it's a flawed methodology to ignore all of the data and say an invisible space wizard did it using magic. That's a fairy tale.
The article literally says that the duck-billed dinosaurs must have crossed hundreds of miles of open water.
Incredulity.
So you can either believe in surfing dinosaurs, which is obviously a fairy tale, or you can believe that the world was flooded and that the reason that those duck-billed dinosaur fossils were there was because the flood placed them there through hydrologic sorting. Once again, something that the scientific method predicts.
No, it doesn't. And science-denying creationists love to say the science supports their shit while they deny the science. Blows my fucking mind.
Something that a creationist would predict. Something that the Bible already told you about. So whose word are you going to go with, folks? Are you going to go with man's word?
Matt has a great point. Who you going to trust? Your fellow folks who work to gather facts about reality, or say fuck it and trust his imaginary friend who hasn't done shit for our kind, and in truth, we've made the world a better place in spite of his buddy who's never done anything except use us to play a game of checkers with himself. If we followed Matt's logical reasoning science truth to the world he dreams of, it would retard civilization back to the Dark Ages. These biblical literalists fantasize about darker days. They all look backward, not forward. This apocalyptic cult believes this planet will be destroyed any second now, and it's disgusting because they think that's what we deserve.
As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I'm going to trust what God said. You could trust people like Aaron Ra, Richard Dawkins, Neil deGrasse Tyson, those who don't have your best interest in mind, the celebrities of the world. Or you could trust God.
It's the new phone!
I understand why science's bright light makes Matt's homeboy look like a cockroach that has to hide in the shadows. See, I had this guy tell me once about how modern medicine, like antibiotics and anesthesia, was this forbidden magic called pharmacy, and the Bible says those people definitely need to be unalived. Matt seems to think that science needs all these confounding variables that would just render the methodology useless.
You could trust the facts. You could trust science. Yeah, because Christians believe science, not the atheist.
A lot of people move their hands around when they talk, but Matt's practice motions and crap use of air quotes is about the equivalent of playing an air guitar. It's just gibberish. Nobody can understand what you're saying with your hands, dude. Not even deaf people.
And any atheist that's listening to this video right now knows that they don't believe in science and knows that they are left with nothing but fairy tales.
Poor shit.
Afraid not.
I'm starting to think Private Powell is an AI bot designed to be a serial phallicist, because that was a beautiful No True Scotsman. Atheists don't believe in science and know it's a made-up story called a fairy tale.
These are the weird things that you have to stoop to mentally and bow yourself down to mentally to believe. As Christians, we believe in scientific, logical, and biblical things that are based in the book of Genesis, not fairy tales.
That is one big pile of shit.
Not things that have been disproven time and time again by creation and by science.
You're wrong.
So if you're a theistic evolutionist and you're listening to this and you want to continue to believe in theistic evolution and...
This is getting a little complicated, Rocco. Let's look at this logically. You're the psychotic, you should have the envelope. I should have the gun.
continue having an opinion outside of what the facts are and what the truth is, you're welcome to do that.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Look, all you theistic, evolutionist, atheist, Matt has given you his permission. You may go forth and preach your opinion.
But at the end of the day, I have to go with what the facts are and what the truth is. And as a preacher and just as somebody that loves to study the word, I have to go with the facts. I have to tell you what the facts are. I'm accountable to God for that.
I mean, just openly admit it, that you don't give a fuck about the science and tell everybody how you want them to follow your dogmatic beliefs, lying about the fucking science. Dude, you really are a fucking scumbag.
That escalated quickly.
These preachers that say, we should at least consider the other side. Look, you shouldn't consider fairy tales.
Irony.
Said the idiot, pushing an Iron Age book that's literally a compilation of stories containing mythical and magical characters living out make-believe stories in a 2,000-year-old world.
You can consider certain hypotheses out there and certain ideas, but when it comes to the realm of surfing monkeys and surfing dinosaurs and fairy tales, just blatant frog-to-prince fairy tales,
fairy tale,
those should be rejected immediately. Pastors and preachers should never consider them, because fairy story land is the place that they belong at these stories, and not in the realms of a church or in the realms of scripture.
I have to eat you now. This job is so stupid.
Ain't that rich coming from Matt Giant Powell shit who attacks science and then says religion should ignore it? Guess what? I agree. Preach your shit on Sundays and leave your ridiculous dogma out of our science classes in public schools. After all, Matt was homeschooled, never took a science class in his life, never been in a lab, and knows more about it than everyone who's ever existed. If you made it this far, thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, click the bell, and definitely let me know what you think in the comments, because this was a fun video to make.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.